The SUV market is changing faster than ever, but what BYD is preparing for 2026 might completely shock the entire luxury car industry. Because this is not just another electric SUV trying to look futuristic with a giant screen and fancy lighting. The all-new 2026 BYD Atto 8 is being designed to challenge some of the biggest luxury SUVs in the world, including the BMW X7, Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, Tesla Model X, and even high-end Range Rover models. And the craziest part is that BYD is doing it with technology, performance, and luxury features that many people never expected from the brand just a few years ago. For a long time, BYD was mostly known as a growing EV company focused on affordable electric vehicles. But things are changing very quickly. Over the last few years, BYD has exploded into one of the most powerful automotive brands in the global EV market. They are no longer just competing on affordability. Now they are competing on innovation, premium design, charging technology, luxury comfort, and serious performance. And the 2026 Atto 8 might become the biggest example yet of how fast the company is evolving. The moment you first see the Atto 8, it immediately feels different from older BYD models. The SUV looks much more mature, aggressive, and premium than people expect. The front design follows BYD's latest dragon-face styling language, but now everything feels cleaner and more sophisticated. The slim LED headlights stretch sharply into the front fenders, creating a futuristic appearance without looking overly complicated. The daytime running lights give the SUV a modern signature look, especially at night, while the front bumper design adds a strong road presence that feels expensive and upscale. Unlike many electric SUVs that try too hard to appear futuristic, the Atto 8 balances modern styling with elegance. The body lines are smoother and more aerodynamic, while still maintaining the bold proportions expected from a large luxury SUV. Some versions are expected to include flush door handles, illuminated exterior elements, premium chrome accents, and massive multi-spoke alloy wheels that could go up to 21 inches depending on the trim level. From almost every angle, the SUV gives off the impression of something far more expensive than what people normally associate with BYD. But the real surprise starts when you understand the size of this thing. The Atto 8 is not a compact crossover pretending to be practical. This is a true full-size 3-row SUV designed for large families, long-distance comfort, and premium travel. Reports suggest the SUV measures over 5 meters in length with a wheelbase close to 2,950 millimeters. That means the third row is actually usable for adults instead of being a cramped emergency seat like many competitors still offer today. And honestly, that could become one of the biggest selling points of the Atto 8. Because many buyers want luxury, but they also need real practicality. They want space for children, luggage, road trips, business travel, and everyday family life without sacrificing comfort. BYD seems to understand that perfectly. Step inside the cabin, and the entire atmosphere changes from simply modern to genuinely luxurious. Earlier, BYD interiors were often criticized for trying too hard with unusual designs and gimmicky layouts, but this new interior direction feels cleaner, calmer, and far more premium. The dashboard design is elegant and horizontal, helping the cabin feel wider and more spacious. Soft touch materials cover most visible surfaces, while ambient lighting flows across the doors and dashboard in multiple customizable themes. Higher trims are expected to include premium leather seating, heated and ventilated seats, massage functions, memory settings, and even executive-style second-row captain chairs in some markets. The panoramic glass roof makes the interior feel incredibly open, while the use of acoustic insulation should create a quieter driving experience, especially on highways. One of the most important areas where BYD is trying to dominate is technology. The company already became famous for its rotating infotainment screen, and the Atto 8 continues that tradition with an even larger and more advanced display system. The massive central touchscreen is expected to feature improved graphics, faster processing, smarter voice controls, and a much more refined user interface than earlier systems. Drivers will also get a fully digital instrument cluster, augmented reality head-up display, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, advanced navigation systems, and over-the-air software updates that continuously improve the vehicle over time. Some reports even suggest that the SUV could include AI-powered cabin personalization features, capable of learning driver preferences automatically. And then there's the wireless charging system. While many luxury brands still struggle with slow charging pads that barely keep phones alive, BYD is reportedly offering up to 50-watt wireless charging in some versions. That may sound like a small detail, but it shows how aggressively the company is focusing on real-world usability instead of simply advertising flashy features. But luxury alone is not enough anymore, especially in the modern EV market. Buyers now expect performance too, and this is where the Atto 8 becomes genuinely surprising. Depending on the market and configuration, the SUV is expected to arrive with both plug-in hybrid and fully electric versions. The plug-in hybrid models could use BYD's advanced DMP hybrid technology combined with a turbocharged 1.5-liter engine. That setup may produce close to 500 horsepower in all-wheel drive variants, allowing this large SUV to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 5 seconds. Think about that for a second. A large 7-seat family SUV capable of sports car acceleration while still delivering strong fuel efficiency and electric driving capability. That combination is exactly why plug-in hybrids are becoming increasingly popular around the world. But the fully electric models may be even more impressive. Some dual-motor versions are rumored to produce massive power outputs capable of launching the Atto 8 from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in as little as 3.9 seconds. That puts it directly into high-performance luxury EV territory alongside vehicles that cost dramatically more. And unlike many performance SUVs that sacrifice comfort for speed, BYD appears to be focusing heavily on ride quality as well. Adaptive suspension systems, advanced chassis control, and improved weight distribution could help the Atto 8 deliver a smoother and more stable driving experience, whether you are cruising on highways or navigating crowded city streets. Of course, none of this matters if the range is disappointing, but BYD knows that range anxiety is still one of the biggest concerns for EV buyers, which is why the company continues pushing its Blade battery technology extremely hard. The Blade battery has already gained a strong reputation for safety, durability, and thermal stability. And in the Atto 8, some versions are expected to use battery packs approaching 100 kilowatt hours. Depending on configuration and testing standards, certain models could achieve driving ranges of up to 670 kilometers under the CLTC cycle. Now, realistically, real-world driving conditions will always reduce official numbers. Highway speeds, weather conditions, cargo weight, air conditioning use, and driving style all affect actual range. But even with those factors considered, the Atto 8 still appears highly competitive against some of the biggest names in the premium EV segment. However, the most shocking part of the entire vehicle may actually be the charging technology. Because BYD is reportedly preparing some versions of the SUV with ultra-high voltage architecture, capable of supporting charging speeds approaching 1,000 kilowatts under ideal conditions. That number sounds almost unbelievable right now. And while real-world charging stations capable of fully utilizing that power remain limited in many countries, the technology itself represents something extremely important. It shows where the future of EV charging is heading. Imagine stopping for only a few minutes and adding hundreds of kilometers of driving range before continuing your journey. That is the type of convenience automakers are chasing right now because charging speed is becoming just as important as total driving range. Safety is another major priority for the Atto 8, especially because this is a family-focused SUV. BYD is expected to equip the vehicle with a full suite of advanced driver assistance systems, including adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, automatic emergency braking, rear cross-traffic alert, driver monitoring systems, and advanced parking assistance. Higher trims may also feature LiDAR-supported intelligent driving systems under BYD's DiPilot platform, giving the SUV semi-autonomous driving capabilities in certain environments. Multiple cameras and radar systems constantly monitor surrounding traffic conditions to improve safety and reduce driver fatigue during long journeys. The body structure itself is also expected to use high-strength materials designed to improve crash protection for passengers in all 3 rows. Combined with multiple airbags and reinforced battery protection systems, BYD clearly wants the Atto 8 to compete seriously with established premium brands in terms of safety reputation as well. And honestly, this is where the conversation becomes really interesting. Because the Atto 8 is not entering the market as some cheap alternative trying to undercut competitors on price alone. Instead, BYD seems to be creating a vehicle that genuinely competes on technology, design, luxury, performance, and innovation first, while still potentially offering a more competitive price tag than traditional luxury brands. That strategy could seriously disrupt the global SUV market. Think about what usually happens when buyers shop for a premium 3-row SUV. Most people automatically look toward brands like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Lexus, Tesla, or Range Rover. These companies spent decades building luxury reputations, and many buyers still associate premium quality only with those names. But the EV era is changing the industry extremely fast. Technology matters more now than brand history alone. Buyers care about battery performance, charging speed, software quality, smart features, efficiency, and innovation. And this shift creates opportunities for newer companies like BYD to challenge traditional luxury manufacturers in ways that would have seemed impossible 10 years ago. In fact, BYD is already proving that consumers are willing to consider alternatives if the product itself is strong enough. The company's rapid growth in global EV sales shows that people are paying attention. And if the Atto 8 delivers everything BYD is promising, this SUV could become one of the biggest turning points yet for the brand's international image. Still, there are important realities buyers should consider. Not every market will receive the exact same version of the vehicle. Some countries may get fewer features due to regulations, taxes, software localization issues, or charging infrastructure limitations. Pricing will also vary significantly depending on local import costs and government incentives. Software optimization outside China will be especially important. Many Chinese vehicles have improved dramatically in hardware quality, but global buyers still expect polished infotainment systems, strong language support, reliable navigation, and seamless smartphone integration. BYD will need to continue improving these areas to fully compete with the world's biggest luxury automakers. Charging infrastructure also remains a challenge in some regions. Ultra-fast charging technology sounds incredible, but its real-world usefulness depends heavily on whether compatible charging stations actually exist nearby. So while the Atto 8 may be technologically advanced, the ownership experience could still vary depending on where drivers live. Another important factor is long-term brand trust. Luxury buyers often care about dealership experiences, service quality, resale value, and reliability over many years. Traditional luxury companies already have established global support networks, while BYD is still expanding internationally. Building consumer confidence in premium markets will take time. But even with those challenges, it is impossible to ignore what BYD is accomplishing right now. The company is moving incredibly fast, and the Atto 8 represents something much larger than just another SUV launch. It represents a shift happening across the entire automotive industry. For decades, legacy manufacturers dominated the premium segment almost without serious competition from outside Europe, America, or Japan. But electric vehicles are rewriting the rules completely. Companies that innovate faster, develop better battery technology, and adapt quickly to changing consumer expectations now have a real chance to compete globally. And BYD appears determined to become one of those companies. The 2026 Atto 8 feels less like an experiment and more like a statement that the next generation of premium SUVs may not come only from the brands people traditionally expected. A statement that luxury, performance, advanced technology, and efficiency can exist together in one package without necessarily costing a fortune. Most importantly, it shows how quickly the EV race is evolving. Just a few years ago, many people would never have imagined BYD competing directly against luxury giants like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, or Tesla in the full-size premium SUV segment. But now, that future suddenly feels very real. And honestly, the most exciting part is that this competition benefits everyone. Because when companies fight harder for innovation, consumers get better vehicles, better technology, faster charging, more features, and more competitive pricing across the entire industry. So now the big question becomes this. If the 2026 BYD Atto 8 delivers everything being promised, the luxury interior, massive range, ultra-fast charging, premium technology, powerful performance, and competitive pricing, would you actually choose it over a traditional luxury SUV from BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Lexus, Tesla, or Range Rover? Because whether people are ready to admit it or not, BYD is no longer just an affordable EV company. It is rapidly becoming one of the most important automotive brands,